Guaranteed is coming.
One guarantee.
And of course, in order to qualify, we know for sure you can't start before it's acted on.
Right.
And obviously, the soonest it can get acted on is November 9th, apparently.
Do you have building permits in hand on these yet?
No, I
From the
haven't.
city?
Since they're actually getting moved, I actually don't need a building permit to move them.
Oh, they don't have that?
I will need to get a building permit to build their garages on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Whatever
actually,
the city
I need
requires
a
for a...
moving permit, that's what the city
Is
told me.
that what it is? So it's not a building permit?
No,
Okay.
it's a moving permit, yeah,
Okay.
so. And I did take this to the city and they've approved to have the hearing on that too. I think it was on the 28th, I think.
Yeah, it's perfect for the city because they don't have any tax on that structure moving in from the county.
Yeah.
And of course, none from the one from Flandreau either, so, so it's a win for them.
Right.
But we're moving value is all we're doing here, so.
Well, I look at that though, that house, Ryan's plan was to knock it down, so once it
Right.
goes into a hole, there was no value to the county.
Right.
So you're salvaging something that's gonna get
Right.
a new house on his property and it's moving somewhere else, it's gonna get taxed on its own, so.
Yeah, that's, we can understand that very easily, but I hope you also can understand our quandary as far as making sure we stay true to the policy and not deviate from it. That's gonna cause, again, unintended consequences, so. I think you could also, as far as how the structure is appraised, Chris, if it were a new structure built and moved in, that would have a different value than a used structure moved in. Because when they do the appraisal process, even though they're going to say, yes, it's got all new window siding, blah, 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 it still is a 50-year-old structure would enter into that appraisal process. So there are some nuances there that have to be addressed. The appraisal process is a very involved one, is it not?
So we need a motion to set the public hearing for 9:30 on the 9th.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, and that'll work for you?
Yeah, that's fine, yep.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to do that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. See you guys on the
Thank
9th.
you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
You were close to right.
What's that?
It didn't take very long.
Did good.
Okay, personnel, Kathy.
Morning.
Good morning.
I passed out the Families First Coronavirus Response Act policy for the board this morning. We would like to extend this just through the end of this year. It was originally a statute that we had to comply with through 2020. Federally, they didn't extend it. As a county, we extended it through March and then extended it again through September. And I'm looking to extend it again just through the end of the year. I think that will probably be our last extension of this. We may just need to, revise some sick leave policies that we currently have just to allow, kind of put some parameters around the use of sick leave, and when they can use that, just from their sick leave banks. So, but for now, I'd like to just approve this through the end of the year and maybe work on that in the background, just like what would be an authorized use of sick leave for quarantining. So far, 21 employees have used this, but only 3 of them have used the full 80 hours. So, it has been helpful to employees. Most employees have only used maybe half of the 80 hours of potential leave. There's another 60 employees that haven't used any hours. So I think, it's not their fault if they get COVID now versus a year ago. So I just think for them, this would be beneficial to extend it at least through the end of the year.
Is this something that can only be used once?
Yes, so it doesn't get replenished. If you've used your 80 hours, you're done. You have to use your sick or vacation.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we do extend this under Kathy's recommendation through the end of the year.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Okay, just one other question. Say if you used it last year and you were to get sick again this year, then can you,
No, it's since the beginning of the
Just
policy.
since the beginning, okay.
Yep, so the beginning of, I think it was March 19th?
March.
March of 19,
Yeah.
that this was initially. So we've had 21 people use it in 2.5 years, so if you look at it that way.
Because there's this 12-day lapse, that we're already 12 days into October, do you need to make this retroactive to the 1st of October?
Yes, please.
Yeah, and that would be part of my motion, it's
Okay.
retroactive to the 1st of October.
Okay, and that's okay for,
Second also.
okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And then I just have 2 announcements for retirement. And I probably do need formal action from the board to accept their retirement. You guys already know about these 2, but I have actual date now. So Carol Scotting will be retiring November 30th, 2021. And she will be coming to the board, one of the board meetings in November for a retirement recognition. And then Judy Ford will also be retiring on November 30th, 2021. And she will also be coming to a board meeting. So Judy's gonna come to the first board meeting in November, and Carol will be coming to the second board meeting in November.
Now, how long have they been with us?
Carol's been with us for 38 years,
Oh.
and Judy's been with us for 21, I believe.
Okay.
So very valuable long-term employees, and we wish them well. So I would like just the board to formally accept their retirement dates, and we're already in the process of trying to fill those positions.
Mr. Chair, move for approval.
All second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a question? How's the auditor search going?
We are interviewing for the first round of interviews on Wednesday and next Monday, so tomorrow and next Monday. Steve and I are doing the initial interviews, so we're interviewing 8. We're gonna hopefully narrow that down to 4 or 5, and then bring in the whole committee for the final round of interviews, which includes the personnel.
You've had some
committee.
interest then.
Yes.
Good.
So how many applicants were there?
13.
So 8 of the 13 will be seen.
Yep.
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's encouraging.
Thank you for your work on that. So,
You bet. We've actually had pretty good interest for all of our positions lately. We interviewed highway accountant candidates yesterday. We had 8 apply for that, and we interviewed 3. We had, let's see, for the extension, we had 10 apply for the extension. We're interviewing 6, and then for the corrections job, we had 23 people apply.
Wow.
So I'm still narrowing down those applications. I'm still looking through those, so.
for me personally, that's great to hear that we have people that are willing, want to work for the county.
Yeah.
The county's a good place to work.
Place to work.
So I'm glad to hear that. Set for life.
You mentioned the highway accountant, and that was that part-time position, or
Yep.
not part, where they're gonna split it. And the candidates, that worked well for them as well too, or the candidates applied for it, that they were interested in that type of work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it up.
You just
Good.
never know until you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, so, thank you.
Carol and Judy are 2 more examples of us baby boomers again, you know, so.
Yeah,
Moving along.
it is, it's gonna continue.
Yeah,
The retirement wave has started.
yeah, exactly
You
what
look at
Beth
the
was
highway
saying.
department too, and it's gonna continue over the next few years.
Right.
I think there's at least a handful that are eligible to retire in the next few years in the highway.
Yeah.
You already signed up for 3 more years. So.
I'm part of that baby boom that retired a couple years ago, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, do you have an update on the Head Start property?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman and board members. Just to let you know, I have contacted Butiel Mosing, surveyors out of Marshall. Talked to Dan Butiel on that, and they will do the surveying for us. The estimated cost will be $900 to $1,000. And this has been about 2 weeks ago I talked to him, and he thought it'd be about 3 weeks, so I'm thinking probably next week he'll get down here to survey. And Dan had some more information he was talking to me about the size of the lot. I think we're looking at 200 by, what was it you're saying? 200
Possibly
by
200 by 200. They might want a full acre, just that they'd have room for expansion as well too. So kind of depending on how, the setback they need from that walking path for their parking and so forth. Working with Doug Fortune, and he's got a program where you can overlay on that, and he can show where the property lines are at, where the water line's at, where the sewer line's at. So just trying to figure out exactly what size, if it's going to be a half acre or possibly a full acre. So.
Okay.
Everything from the walking path to the pond then, right? Or not quite?
No, this is the walking, or the bike path, the one that goes north and south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want that to the pond to the east?
No, they're set back for their driveway and their parking lot. They have to stay so many feet back from that. Then the building has to stay so many feet back from that. So in order to have enough depth from the west to the east, they might need to go a little bit further than just 150 feet. They might need to go a little further on that.
But that'll use up all the usable land there, right? There won't be a strip that's be basically worthless to us?
Between the building and the pond?
Yeah.
Exactly. It depends on how that's laid out. You might want to lay it out that we use half of that, so there's enough for both. So we still have another usable lot going to the east. Mm-hmm. So when the surveyor comes down, we'll see what he can do for us. And it might behoove us to have him go ahead and put in pins for the contingents, whether we do half of that property or all of that property as you go to the east there. The other idea was, I think we talked about it before, that on the south end of that, where that driveway's at, instead of them buying the driveway, that they would buy from the driveway north, and then we'd give them an easement for that driveway to come in, so that future development going to the south would be able to use that same driveway to come in to go to the south.
Yes, there's another good-sized parcel to the south of that driveway
Yep.
that faces Hiawatha Avenue as well.
Yep, exactly.
There's two good lots on the frontage there. And then there's room off to the south side of the building, the existing building there. That was planned at some point, if they needed to expand the Health and Human Services building, they could build on that side of it. The only thing that's in the way out there is the old septic system, which has been abandoned when they put sewer out there.
Oh, and I did learn from Doug's print, you mentioned that old septic system, and indeed, when you go straight north of the septic system to our parking lot where that manhole's at that says sanitary, that is sanitary. That is where the building does. It comes out of our building on the south side, comes around, dumps into that, and then goes to the north.
Okay.
So that is the sewer line.
Okay. So once I get the survey back, I'll bring that to the board, share it with the county attorney, let him review as well. And then once we look at that and you're satisfied with what we see, then we can go ahead and advertise
Yep.
for the sale of the property as recommended by the county attorney and the law
For those 3
Okay.
weeks.
for 3 weeks.
So we're looking at, calendar-wise, so we're looking at November, so maybe by the end of November, 1st of December, we might be able to close on that.
I would think that would,
Yep.
I don't know about closing, we got advertised for 3 weeks. We don't even have the,
I shouldn't use that term, you're right, that's not the correct term for that.
advertise.
Right.
Hopefully
Yep.
we can advertise, I'm hoping by the end of November, first part of December.
Because they need, for their grant application, they need to try to do that by the middle of December, so
Yep.
that timing, I think, will work out well for them, if indeed this all flows the way we think it's going to.
Hey, anything else on that?
Not at this time.
All right, then go to Johnson Controls Courthouse HVAC project.
Chairman and board members, just to let you know, I've checked our application for our grant with the Minnesota Historical Society, and it still says pending review. So it's still in review, so I've heard nothing since then. I'm going to recommend that we move forward with this proposal that we received at the last meeting, and for $749, $435. And along with that, I'm also going to request from Mr. Hunstead to add into this what are called the Atmos air cleaner systems, so that we comply with the, not requirements, but generally the recommendations of Department of Health and COVID rules to have a clean air building in here. So we would be putting 3 units in here, 2 on this side, 1 on this side, and that would be an add-on to this. And the reason I'm asking for that is we're making sure that we're not just updating our HVAC system, but we're also making it a cleaner sanitary breathing. I will have no problem recommending that we use our ARP money to do that, and it's specifically allowed. I've been doing more research on that, and that specifically is stated in, and I'll read you a verse so that we have
And
it
so
here.
the add-on only would be covered by these funds?
No, the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing would?
The whole thing. This is called a physical plant upgrade for COVID-19. And it's a ventilation improvement in congregate settings, healthcare settings, other key locations, enhancements. Also include capital investments in public facilities to meet pandemic operational needs, such as physical plant improvements to hospitals, clinics, adaptations to public buildings, and that's where we fit in there to implement COVID-19 mitigation tactics. So we're cleaning our air, and we're also going to keep our air clean with the Atmos air devices in there too, along with the upgrades to the HVAC system that we need to do.
How much is the add-on?
I don't know yet. I'll bring you that when I get it.
Oh, okay.
I would do that as an add-on, so today I would request that the board approve what we have here today, and then I'll bring you the cost for that on a separate meeting date, so we can go ahead and get going. We're at least, as Mr. Hunstead reported last week, we're at least 20 weeks out.
Right.
So yeah, this will be a next year project, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might take that long to get the material.
That's right.
I will make that a motion.
Yep, and I'll second that motion. And that's
Okay.
for the,
Any further discussion?
I think it's a very good idea to put the clean air things in. People work here 6, 8 hours, and then the guests we have upstairs have no choice but to breathe this air, so.
Right.
This one comment I heard was, why would you spend that much in an old historical building like that in HVAC? But I can totally see the benefits for this. Like Dallas mentioned, for the employees, even just the preservation of the building, investing this much into it is going to make this building last that much longer too. So,
Well, it's not like we're intending to abandon it anytime
exactly,
soon.
right.
Yep.
I mean, it's in great shape.
Absolutely.
No, building has,
Continue to keep it in great
building
shape.
has good bones in it, no question about it.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for that.
Committee reports, I think that's all we got left.
Mr. Chairman, do you want to do those, or do you want to put those on next meeting? It's,
What do you guys think?
It's getting late.
Okay, yeah, we can put them on next time, I guess. That's, with that in mind, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, we're done. Thank you very much, and we'll see you this afternoon. Oh, what about the warrants?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, we messed up.
oh,
Can we reopen? We
Yep.
can reopen. Yep. Yep.
Make a motion, we reconvene or reopen the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good catch.
Yeah, what about the warrants? Did we hear anything yet?
no. I would, I guess at this point, I would recommend that we pull the bills for the meals off the Visa, which is the issue we have on this one. That's the ones we know about right now. Pull those and approve the rest of the warrants with the exception of those meal reimbursements as listed.
Or how about, I mean, because there aren't any other expenses related to that event?
I didn't see anything
To our
on there.
knowledge. I mean, I couldn't find any either, but,
I
Are we
hate-
going to incur any penalties or late fees by withholding payment on that?
Well, there's some things that,
Yeah, it's all part of a, I don't know if there's a separate Visa card for that person or not. If that person has its own Visa card, I think it's its own number. I think we could pull that one. Do the deputies have their own?
Yeah,
Visa
because it
cards?
is all on the one person's.
Yeah.
Well, not every single one of them has
Oh.
them. They have like.
Yeah, but my concern is if.
But you're only gonna pull those specific expenses.
Those
or
meal
whatever.
expenses
Yeah.
is what we're looking
on
at.
that card number.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's the cleanest we can do for right now, and
But if we don't pay the total balance on that particular card this month, there will be fees on top of that.
probably, yeah.
And the fees could actually be greater than the,
Then the amount of the, what you're taking off,
Yeah.
I understand.
you know,
So I have a list of.
But I mean, the bigger issue is still, if it's an unapproved deal.
Card number
Right.
Are you gonna cover any of it?
right. Yep.
We're looking at.
And of course, we don't know if some of those have already gone through and we don't know, or if it's still coming up.
For training.
Steve,
Yes.
if we did go ahead and approve this so that we don't have any fees incurred by the credit card company, and then after we find out later on what the facts are here, we can always claw that money back from that individual, can we not?
Yes.
Payroll deduction.
Payroll deduction, we
I
can
don't know
so.
about how we do it in payroll, but we'll figure a way to do it. We have
Yeah.
to.
So it's not like
It'd be a reimbursement back
Be a
more
reimbursement.
than a withholding.
Right, I know they weren't excited about that upstairs, but,
Well, but I would recommend that we withhold payments for card 54, ending in 5486 until we can get a determination from the sheriff on the situation here.
Okay.
Because that's, everything is associated that we're looking at that card.
right, is he unavailable for a length of time?
I
or-
don't know, I emailed him this morning and didn't get a response, so I'm not sure
Okay,
what
we
his
don't know.
situation is this morning.
Okay,
And it's.
The other issue is traveling out of state without permission.
right,
Yeah.
right, which we still have to address at some point.
So I would just recommend the board just approve all the warrants with the exception of those Visa charges on card ending in 5486 regarding unapproved out-of-state travel.
Okay, I'd make that motion.
What else? That's the easiest way to say it at this point.
Yep, and I will second that motion. The other question I've got is then if this can be wrapped up very easily, if the sheriff can identify that this is, we don't have to wait another month to pay it. So can we do that conditional, on the condition that once it's approved by the sheriff, it can be paid right away, so we don't have to wait for another cycle of warrants?
Yeah, we don't want to wait that long.
Right,
I'll-
right.
I'll
No, I know
confer
what you're
with
saying.
I'll confer with the chairman. We'll
And
just do
that
it
way we
that way.
might be able to.
Right.
Avoid the
prevent
fee.
Any fees, late fees or
I
penalties.
agree, yeah, that would be good.
Yep. So we can give provisional approval for that once it's cleared up. Is that how we word that?
Something like that, well,
Yeah.
we'll let those that are handling that finesse that, I guess.
Yeah. We'll probably end up having to do it, we'll probably end do it at the 9th, or on the 26th of this month, at the next meeting. Because we'll have to act on the travel as well.
Right. Yeah, and we'll definitely need some firm details by then.
Right. So at this point anyway, we're pulling the motion is to pull 5486 for those meal and parking charges on the Visa card.
Right, and unless you can, find a good reason to allow it, I guess.
Motion clear as mud?
Yes, it is.
But yeah, somebody's gonna have some explaining to do regardless. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn again.
I'll make a motion to adjourn for the second time.
Okay,
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
38.
Yeah.